Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. This is another special edition. This is Nick, and I'll be hosting a show called The Takedown, and we're going to start basically bringing content to you the first Monday of every month moving forward. So, without further ado, since we're running a little bit late with technical difficulties, I would like to go ahead and introduce Professor James K. Galbraith. And basically, we're going to have a general conversation, but Professor, I would like for you to kind of introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, hello. It's nice to be with you. I'm James Galbraith. I'm a professor at the University of Texas at Austin, and I do work on a number of economic policy questions from inequality to the current state of Europe.
Amazing, amazing. I know that you do some very, very, very good work. I think I've read a multiple, and I'm starting on, I think it's your second to last book. I know you just released Welcome to the Poison Chalice, and that's going to be focused a little bit on Greece. And I think I started to read Inequality, Everything You Need to Know, but I've also read The End of Normal, and I've read, there was one more. Can't remember. Oh, The Predator State.
Now, this year's been a bit busy, or last year was. I have two books that appeared this spring. One was called, as you say, Inequality, What Everyone Needs to Know, which is part of an Oxford University Press series. And then I published a book just this last few weeks called Welcome to the Poison Chalice, The Destruction of Greece and the Future of Europe, which is an account of the work I did attempting to assist the Greek government in the first 5 or 6 months of 2015.
You know what actually brought me around to starting to look at you've got a vast body of work. You speak at a lot of places. You give a lot of interviews, and I want to first off thank you for agreeing to come onto our platform and to kind of bring your message and what you have to say to our audience here, because I think really we can benefit from what you have to say. I want to start the conversation off where I remember you started to discuss, and your name has been mentioned when they were talking about the insularity of the economics profession in general. And I remember you spoke about in The End of Normal, you spoke about different factions. Could you kind of explain, a little bit about that? Like there's different factions within the profession, and kind of explain, what the major dominant ones are, and then, kind of just give us a brief rundown of each, and maybe like a notable name or two that comes to your mind when you think about it.
Well, economics is a study of human societies, and it is a subject which is historically defined by ideological positions and divisions, and that remains the case today. Although it's fair to say that in academic economics, there a very formalistic and conservative tradition is dominant and has been for a generation. It is still the case that there are substantial dissident viewpoints, alternative viewpoints, and the subject is evolving. So what I try to do in my book, The End of Normal, which is a discussion of the aftermath of the great financial crisis, is to review all of not all, but the major themes that were explanations that were offered by different schools of economic thought. Some of them said, well, this is just a statistical accident. There's nothing to be said about it, nothing to be done. It was something nobody could predict. And there were others who said, well, actually, it was quite possible to predict it. There were certain clear indicators, and those are signs that the market system doesn't work as well as you say it does. And there were several different variations within that general framework. So I lay out in the book how these different viewpoints are framed, and I try to also express how I think the direction of economics ought to evolve in the future. What topics in particular it does not take good account of that it should do a better job with.